I have no idea if it's working. Oh, it is. Cool. Hello, Andreas. How's it going? How you doing on this fine Tuesday night at 10:30 Eastern? Quebec. Cool. I appreciate that. I hope I don't pronounce it wrong. Nicola. I love you as well. So, what I'm thinking tonight is doing one of your typical tier lists, but I'm gonna do it with BMW chassis, not engines, not submodels, but just the chassis. Oh. But I am gonna wait a few minutes and just kind of talk to people before I start doing it. But I will cut this together and make it into a video that I upload, most likely, if it goes well. E60 is a tier. E60 is something. Sure is something. Actually, my thoughts on E60 are have changed, Valky, because Tyler let me drive his. What's up, Jay? I've got a 2008 528 with a little smoke coming out from the front O2 sensor. Any ideas? Is it tightened all the way? That's my first thought. My thoughts on the E90? Well, I have two of them, but I'll get to that. Things like E90 and E92 and E91 I will separate. Or should I just call E9X all one and just kind of grade them from there when I do get started? I didn't hit the Discord? Yeah, let me do that right now, actually. If you could help me as well. I'm kind of on a leash tonight with my microphone. But that's my own fault. Nice. I also have a 325. That's my main YouTube car is the 325. Even though it's converted to be a 330, it's technically a 25. And then the trunk says 28, so it's really confusing. Yeah, I think they have a little crush washer kind of on them too. But I've never heard of them really going bad. But if you messed with them sometime recently, maybe they backed out a little bit. But if you didn't, they're usually so corroded on there that they make their own seal. How's the audio, by the way? Is it decent? The 24-inch iDrive. It is fantastic. It is peak luxury. It is actually sitting on the shelf behind my camera. Okay, I'm glad to hear the audio is good. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell or how much you study the way my house looks, but this past couple weeks I made some big adjustments to my garage. There used to be a big old wall right here. If it were still here, you wouldn't see the car behind me. But I opened it up in here, and I did a lot of rearranging and getting rid of stuff, and I think it is much better in here. I think it looks better on camera, and it's certainly a better background for my streams than just my bedroom. So I hope I hope it looks decent. Also, you can see I've got my check engine light way over there. I think you can see. Oh, just kidding. It's blocking. Now you should be able to see it. I bought that for one video that I made like a 5-second joke with, and then the video wasn't even that good either, so now it just sits in my garage. Well, I can't get a link to my current stream. Or actually, hold on. Just so I can put it up in the Discord. What's up? We got nine people watching me right now. That's pretty cool for 10:30 on Eastern time. The 24-inch, if you're referring to my iDrive, that is one of my favorite videos I've ever done, even though it's very stupid. Alright, I'm sending a link to the Discord. Oh, you already beat me to it, thanks. Put it in my announcement too. So, how are all you doing? If I didn't already ask. I could be doing better. I'm sitting on a toolbox as a chair, and it's not very comfortable. But once again, for anyone who wasn't here a couple minutes ago when I explained, I'm going to be doing a BMW tier list. Let me switch it. I'm going to be doing a tier list on just the chassis, not the submodels, not the engines, or actually maybe the submodels, but not the engines. But just my opinions on the chassis, because, well, BMW makes some of my favorite chassis. They also make I think some of the ugliest cars in existence, especially as of recently, as I'm sure most of you already know. I don't even need to state names just yet, but I think when I say that, you kind of have a few come to your mind. But even before then, I think they have had some of the ugliest cars in existence. But then occasionally they hit it good with this one behind me here. If you didn't already assume where I was gonna put that one, but E31. What even is that? I'm gonna be probably learning certain chassis names. I think I have a decent like nerd knowledge on some of the chassis numbers. I've kind of studied them because I don't know about you guys, but I'll be driving down the street and I'll see a BMW pass by and I'll like kind of quiz myself on what chassis it is. Maybe it's just me. It's can a 2016 320 kick it? I believe they do have a kick down. No, what is that? N20, I think. They can kick it a little bit. I've only ridden in an N20 once. Definitely a bangle butt appreciator. Actually, I don't think that's anywhere near BMW's worst idea. But we'll get to that very soon. I'll start doing my tier list once we get enough people in here. I forgot to mention too, stating once again, once I do this, I'll probably cut it into a regular upload and upload it once again. I've been meaning to do this video for a little bit. It's been on my idea list. Oh, the E31 is an 8 Series. Oh, is that the one with the flip-up lights? Because, yeah, that one is awesome. But, but I will. G30 is pretty sweet. I'm not trying to reveal my my opinions just yet, but I do like the G30. My N52 had a decent amount of metal last oil change in my filter. Its time has come. Well, don't panic yet. Are you newer than 2009 Zasky? Because maybe it's not. I'll tell you. Oh yeah, the pop-up V12 8 series. Yeah, that one is pretty sweet. I'm seeing a lot of new names I didn't recognize before, so I'm glad you guys are here. Some when I do stream, sometimes I see a lot of familiar names, either from comments or from Discord over the years. Hey, just wondering, is anyone going to Impact? I'm debating if I'm going. Oh, you're 2006. I was gonna say maybe it's the Vanosbolt recall, but 2006. Is it knocking? $2,000 on OEM LCI Xenons. They better have been brand new for that price. My 07 N51 was a beast with 190,000. I miss her. What do you mean you miss it? Did you get rid of it? You have 258 on your 325. That's nuts. I have 158, I think, but my engine has less because I swapped it. Excited to find out what the engine ever is. I think we both know the answer to that, Jake. The N54. Kidding. Oh yeah, I forgot you're Australian. But what about the dollars? I forgot what we're even talking about. They came off a good carb, but they were literally the only ones in Australia. Oh, the lights. That is insane. Yeah, I paid like $200 for my non-Z9 LCIs. Not saying they're nice, but I don't know if I would ever drop $2,000 on headlights. Maybe the exchange rate is not perfect for my sense of money right now. Your N52 has 183. I did not know that. You have an E61, don't you? Right? Or is it E60? I forget. Oh, you upgraded to the B58. I don't blame you. It is an amazing motor. Speaking of amazing motors, the N52. Like I said, to anyone who's new to the stream who wasn't here a few minutes ago, I'll explain it once again. Let me just see, because now we have double the amount of people. Incredible. Hi, how's it going? But I'm gonna be doing a tier list of the BMW chassis, not the engines, nothing like that. And going strictly on appearance, I might group them together, so like E9X as a whole. I'm not sure. Kind of up to what you guys think would be better, but yeah, gonna be making a tier list, and I'm gonna cut it into a regular YouTube video afterwards. Hey, I love you too. You didn't need to do that. Thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate that very much. N52 gang is here, in fact, yes. Let me scroll up a little bit to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Yeah, N52s mostly are unkillable. The Vanosbolts is like the new thing that are starting to haunt people now that they're getting older. 3 belts. Nice. I killed mine mostly because I was lazy. Like, it could have kept going. It was ultimately my fault why it failed, but it could have gone. But that's old news. Timo has the best headlights, indeed. Vehicle viral shout out. Anybody? No, I'm just kidding. He has Bay Optics. Oh, it's 1,200 USD. Okay, all right. I forgive you. When does the tier list start? Oh shit. Oh, I didn't know you were on a time limit here. Well, maybe if you were on our hemisphere, you would be off work. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the comments a little bit. Yeah, E93. What horsepower? You gotta rate the E9X separately, like E93. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can do that. We'll just hopefully I won't run out of space. Some of the ones that are like pretty similar, I might not separate, like the E46 Coupe versus Forder. I think they have the same amount of respect from most people, and from me too. The 320, if it's like the F30, it's the N20, as far as I know. Beamerworks, aren't they the same as Stage FP, or am I think I'm mixing things up. I don't think I know about them though. Yeah, they vehicle virals, the E60, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it either. Not to disrespect. Oh, Beamerworks in Canada. Let me look that up. Hold on. Do they sell parts or something? Beamerworks. This one says Pennsylvania. Oh, is it just a shop? Because I would not know it. Have I heard of Raymond? I have met Raymond, actually. Him and I would say we are friends. I'm not gonna repeat that. Yeah, actually, hold on. Let me find. I have a picture of him and I together. I'll find it real quick. But yeah, he's a cool guy. I'm using a second monitor, and for some reason the resolution is all messed up. It's like flickering too. It's terrible. Not that anyone asked. Let me see if oh, there it is. Alright, so I'm in the center. There's Tyler. I don't know if you're here, Tyler. And there's Raymond to the left, the man himself. I forgot to get his autograph though. Too bad. Yeah, Raymond's a cool guy. You can speak to him in my Discord. You can harass him with questions. He loves it. I'm just kidding. But no, my Discord, if you're not a part of it, it's a great place. There's a lot of cool people in there, and Raymond is one of them. A lot of big N52 guys, N52 kingpins. We also have Scotty Kilmer himself. You bought MILFs and they never came? Well, I have a set sitting around here somewhere that I don't know what I'm doing with. Am I Scotty Kilmer? Yes. I have lots of proof that I am Scotty Kilmer as well. Speaking of, do you remember when I did that rap video? That's weird. Did you reach out to Marty about the MILFs? Alright, well, it's getting to the time where I should probably start doing this, but let me just check one thing real quick. Oh, I definitely did that wrong. That's too bad. Yep, I did send the wrong link. What's up? We got 18 people. That's pretty sweet. Alright. I will try and always read your guys' comments as I go and do this, though.
Throw my hands around like Scotty.
Okay, so one last time, I'm doing a tier list, as you can see right here. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm doing a tier list of the chassis. Engines are out of the equation, so it gives the N54 335, if I happen to grab one of their pictures, a strong edge because it doesn't matter in this contest here. But basically, I'm making a tier list, and I'm gonna cut it together and make a video that I will re-upload to YouTube. But anyways, let's get some of the easy ones out of the way, like the 3 Series. But we'll get the ones, the clear biases out of the way. There's not really much bias. I don't even drive BMWs, but the E92. Let's start with the E92. I'll put a picture on the screen so you guys know what we're talking about here. So the E92, this is an E92 M3. I think is the pinnacle of automotive design. I think it is truly one of the best cars ever. But I'm not going to say E92 non-M. I'm not going to separate M and non-M. But E92 easily is in the S tier. It is my favorite BMW design, and I think it is one of the best looking cars overall. So S tier without a doubt. But yeah, we're going to get some of the easy ones out of the way. Yes, E92 is the car ever. That is correct. Okay, so I'm just going to go down the 3 Series and then we'll take suggestions. How about that? The 3 Series, they'll all be pretty easy to do, I think. Since I'm mostly an E90, E9X channel. Oh. Since I'm mostly an E90 channel, I will do... Sorry, E9X channel, I'll take the E90 into equation as well. Stumbling on my words. Alright, we gotta pick a good picture of it, though. How about this one? Alright, so the E90, I think, is also another good one. But I don't think it is as good as the E92, for sure. So, where would I put the E90? Let me just put a proper title on it. Make that bold. Oh. Okay. That should be plenty legible. Alright, so E90. Where would I put the E90? My taste over that has changed over time. there's things that I like about them and there's certain angles I don't like about them. Particularly, I think the things that have started to age bad are the headlights. But overall, it's still good. I think they look definitely a lot better when they're lowered. They look like they're smaller. I think most people would agree too. The same kind of goes for E92, but I think the E92 has less flaws. If the E90 had the front of an E92, much like how the E90 M3 is, they would all be a lot better, but they're not perfect. And also when you consider the pre-LCI E90, especially in the United States, it looks significantly worse, whereas the E92, both pre-LCI and LCI, I know this might be a little bit of a hot take, both look great. I think there's no sort of contention with the LCI taillights on E92, but not everybody likes the post LCI headlights on the front. Not everybody likes those, but I think they look fine. I think Minutes to Midnight would also agree. He might be the only one who has my back on this one. But okay, I won't catch up on the comments as much as I want to right now. Where will I put the E90? The E90 was my first BMW as well. I'm gonna put it in the A for now, even though I think that's being slightly generous. But I'm gonna leave it in the A for now. It's not perfect. The things I dislike are mostly the headlights and just kind of maybe the side profile isn't perfect, not as perfect as the E92. All right, let me catch up on comments for 1 second. Do you guys hate me already? Hey, Raymond, someone was just talking about you. They were saying that they were a big fan, and I told them that I am your biggest fan, and that I shook your hand, and I have your signature framed on my wall. Wow. I missed a lot of comments. All right. I don't think I missed anything too important. Okay, you agree that E90 should be in the A tier. I think it's fair for now. If we have to, I might move it down a little bit. But I think that's a plenty safe spot for that now. My first BMW that started all this for me was a 2008 E90 GMW X-Drive Auto. Okay. Let's skip some of the other E9X for now. But what do you think? Maybe how about we do another easy one? How about the E30? Another one that most people don't have much disagreement on. I don't think. We just gotta get a good picture of one. What's the best color that represents the E30? You know how they all kind of have their own color that suits them best? I think red might be I'm not usually a red kind of car guy, but I think red was well suited on E30, maybe. E92 was all about Alpine. Black, brown, white classic, red. Okay, all right, hold on. Yeah, I think the red was actually pretty damn well suited. I think we're gonna grab this one here, this E30 M3. Or how about this one? That looks great. I'm using a trackpad too, so this sucks. Trackpad in one hand. Feels great. Okay, so the E30. A lot of these, like I want to emphasize that this entire tier list is not about the driving dynamics. It's not about the engine. I forgot to specify this, but not the driving dynamics, because I can't say I've driven like majority of these or even been in. I'm pretty sure I've seen pretty much every BMW in person. But I definitely can't say I've been in everyone. I've only been in like 4 different ones, so keep that in mind. I don't know how these feel to drive. I'm just tier listing them based on how they look. I think Doug DeMiro might have done an M3 tier list, now that I think about it. Okay, so the E30. It is definitely a good design. I don't really have any issues with it. It looks perfectly good for its time period and everything. Of course, if something were this boxy today or this flat looking today, it would look terrible. And that is why the new M2 looks like shit, in my opinion. No spoilers. Didn't mean to spoil that for you, but yeah, it's true. I think we can all agree here. My dad had a white E30 and a black E34 when I was a little kid. Beautiful cars. Indeed. Just reading up some comments real quick. Okay, alright. So the E30. I think the E30 is one of the next ones I would buy if I had to buy an older one. It would be one. I think so. I think it would look good. I might not enjoy owning it. It might be absolutely rusted. But, alright, in terms of how it looks. Oh, hold on. Give me more time to think about it while I put a label on it. Okay. E30. Alright, for right now, I'm thinking... the E30 has to go in the A tier right now, for now. But if the two in the A tier right now had to fight, I think the E30 would have to knock the E90 down one tier, at least. If that's what we're going on. This is the ASMR section of the video. I'm going to gargle water with the microphone really close. If BMW put a high RPM 6 in the M3, it would be an S tier. Oh yeah, that's right. The E30 M3 is a 4-cylinder. I forgot. No. I mean, they did. In the 325 was the top model. Non-M. But now the M was a 4-banger. Is the S54 a joke to me? No. If it was meant to be a joke, I didn't think it was very funny. I'm kidding. Yes, the predecessor to the N20 was whatever engine they put in the E30 M3. What's Raymond's link? Does he have a show? Yes. Let me do a shout out for Raymond. Let me just switch my camera. Or not my camera. Alright, so Raymond's channel. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah, all you have to do is type in Raymond and it shows up. It used to be like Raymond N52 to find it. Or that is his handle. But yeah, Raymond, sweet channel. And he does a lot on the forums. So yeah, this is where to find it. What pissed you off? I hope it wasn't me. Okay. Does maybe? Do you, Raymond? Do you? I might be interested as well. All right, let me check the view count real quick. $18 naked cowboys. Wrong video, right? Facts. I just didn't want to admit it on camera. Oh man. Alright. Suggestions on the next 3 series that I should do for the tier list. I gotta start speeding this up. While I take a drink. Yeah, suggestions on the next 3 series for the tier list. There's not too many. There's like 8 of them or something. Yeah, the car behind me is a green screen, so no, I can't touch it. Sorry. No, I'm not gonna count the F30 and F80 separately. But yeah, how about we do that F30? Switch my camera. Okay. F30 for everyone who doesn't know what it looks like. This is when BMW started to, when things started to get bad. Why is it on shopping? But it is not terrible. Can't say it's terrible. You know, how about we, should I give it the benefit of the doubt and look up a picture of F80? Alright, let me start. So, F30, my thing that I've never liked about them is the headlights. Just how they get real narrow, too. And I've also never liked how the hood is square. Oh, it's cropped. There. Alright, here it is. So, I never liked how the headlights, they look like super aggressive looking. Like they're super angled, which is fine, but I don't like how they get really small and they connect to the grills. And I've always hated how the hood is square. You can see the line of it coming across instead of on the far superior E92. Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can see it. It comes down all the way to the grills, and it looks amazing. Yes, it pisses me off too. It looks bad. Every other angle on the F30 is a clear evolution of the E90, but the front, in my opinion, ruins it. And I also don't like how they're pointed on the outer edges of the headlights. Not a fan. And also this is where everyone complains about steering. Oh, I can't get into that because that's driving dynamics. I have been in an F30 once. I can't really say that it was leading into my reason for not liking them. But yeah, I will say they're not the worst, but they're not the best. The tail end looks fine too. It kind of looks like an evolution of the LCI E90, which is fine, which is good. But the front is what has always ruined it for me. And another big gripe I have with them is the 4 Series looks very, very similar to the F30. And it's so much so that it's hard to differentiate. The only way you can differentiate is the little grill vents that are on all those first gen 4 Series. Other than that, I also think the curve of the headlights is a little sharper. But yeah, the F30, not my favorite. Where will I put it though? I don't know. Let's see. Try not to drop my mic. Mic drop. All right, so the F30. Well, with this type of theory, it has to go lower than E90. So for right now, I'm thinking, yeah, I really can't use engines to its disadvantage because we're doing just appearance. So just appearance. For right now, I'm going to put it in. Yeah, that's B tier. How about beer? Beer. My mind is already on Friday. B tier. How does everyone feel about that? Was that a terrible? Yes, exactly, Raymond. It would if the front looked more like the E92, it would be a pretty good looking car. It is a pretty good looking car, but it's not a great looking car. Oh, thanks for the donation, Raymond. I appreciate it. I never even noticed. Oh, hell yeah, Gabriel. I appreciate that too. Hell yeah. The 2002, well, that doesn't count as a 3 Series. I think that is before they called them 3 Series. So that one, I guess it can go on here, but I'm going to do the 3 Series first. All right, so what's the next 3 Series that I rate on my tier list? Suggestions. This is the ASMR part 2 part of the video. Just was clicking my mouth without even realizing. I am definitely not rich. Definitely not. Because I own BMWs. A very generous B tier. Yeah, I think it's relatively generous. I think I was more generous to the E90 because it has a place in my heart. If I'm being honest, I think. I don't know. I might have to change things later on. The F31 looks better than an E91. I think that is probably true. I don't think I've ever really have I seen F31s before. I don't know. They're probably not very common here. All right, I see 2 people suggesting E36, so I'll do that. E36. Okay. Some of you guys might not like what I'm going to say. So, the E36 was the 2nd generation. If I'm not forgetting one. I'm definitely not. Yeah, the E36 was the 2nd 3 Series. I think this is a decent picture of it. Okay, what color suits the E36? Real quick. Yes, that's true. The E36 got absolutely shit on in the U.S. market on the M3. 100%. White? Okay. Yeah, I think that does suit it pretty well, actually. Just gotta get a good angle. Okay. I want a good angle with one who's got like decent rims too. These all look not stock. I just want a picture of one that's stock. Here, how about M3? Here, there we go. Perfect picture. Alright, let me crop it real quick. Okay, so the E36 is a two-door version. I didn't even realize when I grabbed it. So I hope you guys don't love E36s in here. Raymond, I already know you do like them because you had a couple of them or something. E36. So E36 is not my favorite of the 3 Series, but I don't think it's terrible either. The things I dislike about them is what I dislike about probably most of the BMWs that I dislike. It's their headlights are too like square and the front is too flat. I think the E46 was a great evolution of the E36. It just simply looks like a better version. But in terms of the E36, it looks like just a slightly worse version of the E30. I can't really talk about the engine things because that is outside of my rule book here. But the E36. All right, let me look at more pictures so I can have more talking points. They just look very boxy. They remind me of a lot of the other early 90s cars, which I guess I can't really fault it for because it is an early 90s car. But they just look, I don't know. It's definitely a classic, but it's definitely not one that I look at and say, wow, that looks great. Even when they're in clean conditions. I know they're amazing drift cars. I do know that. But in terms of how they look, just not one of my favorites. They look too boxy and too boring. And the United States market got dicked on them hard. So anyways, the E36. Where do I put it? Some of you guys might hate me for this, but I think I'm going to put it on the C tier because it's not terrible, but it's not great looking. In my opinion, it just doesn't look great. It does look classic, I know, but it's not their best design. It didn't age like wine, how the E30 did. It kind of rotted a little bit in a bad way. All right, now I'm going to read the comments, see how much of you guys hate me now. Just got back from homework. What's going on? Still doing the tier list. Yeah, E92 M3 is confirmed the car ever. Seriously, it is an amazing car. I drove it a couple hours ago down my favorite road, and it still blows my mind because I was doing like 80 in a road that's designed to be a 30, windy road, and it's still not even near its breaking point, and it feels great doing it. It's an amazing car. I love it so much. That is why it is on the S tier. It is in fact the car ever. I'm sorry that you think that the E90 is better than the E92 Mazda, but you're wrong. The coupe and the sedan are equally attractive. Yeah, I think the E36 sedan and coupe, like, the difference doesn't even really matter. It's kind of like that with a lot of cars until you get to like E9X, where they're basically totally different cars. I think they had totally different designers too. Once you smell the interior crayon smell, you fall in love. Well, I do love the taste of crayons. I know 335 owners do as well. So maybe they should switch platforms and stop being assholes. A shit tier for all the G series. Well, not all of the G series, but a good majority of them. I should clarify, it was not a school zone, but it was a road that they intend for you to go 30 on. My lawyer is texting me frantically right now. I better check. I think the G30 is an attractive looking car, but I can't say anything good about the other G series. Completely agree. Particularly the pre-LCI G30. Okay, so yeah, which one should I do next? Which 3 series should I do next? The XM, like the new one, right? If it lost some weight. They're not too heavy. I think they're actually the same weight as like their non-M is the same weight as the E92 M3. Because believe it or not, this car right here, it weighs like 3,600 pounds or something along those lines. Hey, what's up, Rooney? I remember your name. Yes, I am alive. I just don't upload as much as I should. Alright, yeah. E31, I'm not even sure what that is. I know you guys were already mentioning that earlier, but I'll do that since you mentioned it a few times now. Oh, yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. I gotta grab a picture with the flip-up lights, though. These are super cool, but they're not very common. At least the one that people want with the V12. Yeah, sorry I'm doing this kind of the hard way. I'm doing it in a photo editor. But it's because I tried using one of those tier list websites and it was loaded with like advertisements everywhere and it was kind of a shitty service anyways. Oh shit, I wrote the wrong number on it. I'm leaving that. I'm leaving that. I'm not fixing that now. Okay, so the E32, I think it's a great one. I wish there were more of them. It's like the BMW Miata. I picked the worst photo. No, I think that's a good photo. It shows what the headlights do. Alright, so this is certainly better looking. I would rather have this to go to Taco Bell at 2 in the morning than an E36. I would much rather. I would much rather go to the Olive Garden in this. Okay, so I would say it's not quite perfect, but it's damn good. How about B with the F30? I don't think anyone's going to disagree because no one owns one. I hate to say it. Man, there's so many. I would make a joke, but I'm not going to say it on. What does it take to get the E30 to the S tier? I don't know. I think that's a decent spot. Because it's good, but it's not E92 good. Right? See? Starting to get the picture? Yes, an N52 swap might get it there, but I'm not sure. But the engines don't count in this equation. Okay, since you suggested it before... Oh, actually, 2 people suggested it before I even asked what I should do next. We're doing the E46. Now, argue over which one I do first, though, the compact or just the regular. Yes, the ///N52. I don't see enough movement. I don't see enough arguing. Compact. All right. Gabriel, since you gave me a definitive answer. All right, E46 Compact. Oh, this one. Oh, man. That tail end is terrible. I know I'm not hurting anyone's feelings with this. I gotta say, though, what they were doing, they were trying to look really futuristic, and they did. Do these actually exist, or are they, like, prototypes? I know they're rare, aren't they? But, it looks pretty real. The tail just looks all sorts of weird. It's, like, chopped off. It looks like those fucking shitty Civics. I couldn't tell you which one, because there's a million of them. But they look very futuristic. Do you know, like, Frutigo Aero? Frutigo Aero? Like, the aesthetic? I don't know if any of you guys are, like, Vaporwave fans. Why does it keep fucking doing it? Oh, wow, I had the wrong camera on there again. Great. I'm fucking talking about a car and you guys can't even see it. Let me start over. Yeah, look at this pile of shit. Yeah, okay, so look at these headlights. I think they actually do look pretty futuristic looking. But this tail end, this like rear half, it's like 1/3. It's like 2/3 of a regular looking car. It looks strange as hell. The tail end looks absolutely terrible. Oh, and my face is blocking it. Here. Why is it doing this? Alright, just trust me. The tail end looks like shit. Sorry I wasn't screen sharing, by the way. We're just wasting all your guys' time. But yeah, on to my next point. Futurism. It reminds me of this whole aesthetic that was like the thing in like 2006. I don't know if you guys remember this sort of shit, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look up a YouTube video where there's like 15 minutes of some idiot like saying how much it makes them feel nostalgic or something. But yeah, I think the headlights are the only good thing going for it. It has a twist of the Bengal look to it, but where would I rate it? I don't know. Let's see. Let me crop it real quick. Does anyone actually know anyone who owns one? Like, are these actually out there? Curious. The E46 Compact is still better than the G series. I'm still gonna say not all of them because you're forgetting one. No, I think the lights are the only thing going for it. Oh, they're Euro on. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought it was something like that. This shouldn't even count because we're in America. I am, at least. All right. This I would put it. I don't know. I gotta save the bottom tier for some of the new cars. All right. But I think it rightfully belongs in a D tier. All right. I didn't offend anyone with that one, I don't think. The E82. Okay. Yeah, let me do that. I know a lot of people like the E82. Since I saw a couple people mention it and a couple people mention it earlier, I'm going to do the E82. First, let me save this project because I would be very salty if I accidentally close this and didn't have it saved. That would suck. Where can I save it? Right here. Okay. The E82 I think is the silly little brother of the E92. And there's things that I like about them and only a couple things that I don't like about them. Alright, so. Alright, make sure I'm screen sharing this time. This seems like a popular one because the chat is going bananas, if you will. Alright, so the E82. When you look at it, the side profile, it looks great and it looks excellent with the style 359s. Looks great. Especially the 1M. The 1M looks really great. But the two things that I don't love about them. First off, is the headlights. They just look a little bit silly. They just look a little bit too wide. They look like this car is like a chipmunk. Like it's got some cuteness to it, right? You know, it's small. It's got some nice lines like how the E92 does as well. But it is not perfect. I gotta move my face. Hold on. There, that should make more sense because Google keeps wanting to do that. All right, so yeah, just the headlights are not perfect. It's like an E92 but smaller, but with an E90 style headlight, like crammed down, you know? It just looks a little bit funny. It's not, I'm not saying it's ugly, but it's not perfect. I already pissed off a few people. That's all right. All right, should I use a picture of the 1M perhaps? The real question is, why does the 1M have an N54 in it? Here's a spit fact about the 1M. It was one of Doug DeMuro's favorite BMWs. But it's basically a 1 Series chassis with a different some slightly modified body panels, but with the M3 suspension in it. And then for some fuck all reason, an N54. Like, if you're going to put a non-M engine in it, it should have been the N52. Makes way more power, obviously. Yeah, orange 1M is the move. I'll use this picture of it, I think. Even though I don't think that's the most flattering picture. Here, how about this? I think that's a good picture of one. That actually sums it up really well. The front bumper lines on the 1M, I like how it resembles the M3 one, and how the side fenders have the little side marker that the M3 has as well. It's pretty nice. Yeah, it really did need the S65. They should have put an S65 in it. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. That's probably why they didn't sell, because they had a fucking N54 in it. Alright, let me crop this. Because, like, most consumers were legit probably just like, why the fuck would I buy this when the engine comes in a car that's like $15,000 less expensive? That's just a guess, though. I don't know how much they were. There's not many of them. I'm going to call it E82, even though... Yeah. Alright. Okay, E82. Do I like it more than the E36? Yes. Do I like it more than the E90? No. Probably not. But it's not far. Do I like it more than the F30? I think so. Not sure about F80, but probably still. I think... Is it really the pinnacle, though? Is it the pinnacle of BMW design? No. That's why it belongs in B. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it belongs in the B. I'm going to read some of your comments. Yeah, the N52 did make too much power for the tiny little 1M chassis. I got to agree. So I don't blame him. What about the N55? What about it? I have one. It's still for sale if anyone is interested. E65. Yeah, that's a funny one. E60? Do you guys want me to rate the E60? Oh, wait, no, I gotta finish up. Oh, I already skipped. Yeah, I was supposed to do all the 3 Series first, but... E60? Let's get some of the common ones out of the way. Yeah, Dart time to hurt his feelings. You too, Valky. Let me check how many viewers are still here. 15. That's pretty good. What's up, guys? Glad you're here. I've already wasted an hour of your time. Okay. E60. Let's do E60. In case anyone doesn't know what they look like. Definitely the most feminine looking BMW there is. Let's get that out of the way first. I'm exaggerating. Not the most, but one of them. Because it just... Okay, alright, I'll do it like how I did some of the other ones. So things I like about them and things I don't like about them. What's up, Chilled N52? Yep, I'm alive. Alright, so the things that I don't like about the E60 are the things I don't like about most BMWs. The headlights and the taillights. And it shouldn't piss people off, but I know it does. So, to give it credit, to give it a lot of credit, it was way, way, way ahead of its time. There's no denying. And a lot of cars copy BMW, especially this period of BMW. BMW is legit 10, 15 years ahead of its time. And the E60 was a part of it, so was the E90. Especially the E92 was as well, but the E60 was too. They have a good, if you were to make it into a silhouette, they have a good silhouette. But they look a little bit boxy, when you look at them today. Well, not boxy, because they're definitely a round car. But they look like there's lines on it, obviously, but they're not, like, as carefully, beautifully painted out as an E92's lines are. Obviously, if we were talking about engines, the S85 is a big part of why people like these. But for me, I've always been, they never really grew on me. They're most of the time I look at them and I don't see like, oh wow, damn, that looks good. It's usually not like that at all. But I will say my opinion has changed. I am more empathetic towards them, because Tyler, a viewer of mine, let me drive his and it was great. It felt fine. But there's things I dislike about them. I always thought these door handles were weird as fuck and just flat out ugly. I also think the steering wheel, the shape of it, is not superior to the E9X one. Other than that, the interior was way ahead of its time. Being that this car came out in like 2003 or 4, or maybe even sooner. I'm not a huge E60 guy, so if I'm wrong. Here's Doug DeMuro with an E60. The M5 obviously makes it look better. The wheels on the M5 look nice. The wheels on the M5 go round and round. But the headlights and the taillights are just what never did it for me. Especially the taillights. I think the taillights look like shit. Alright, who did I piss off? Anybody? See you later. I'm sorry that you can't make it. Alright. So, where would I put the E60? Let's see. Alright, let me grab a good picture of it, if one exists. How about this one? The silver one. There we go. Alright, E60. Let me put a title on it too, so you can see it if you don't know what this is already. Alright, by a show of hands, raise your hand if you don't like the E60. From a modern perspective. Okay. Alright. So, obviously it's not a beautiful car. It's not a monstrosity neither. There's worse. There's worse from that time period, and there's worse from the current time period. But it's definitely not a looker, in my opinion. Like I said, if you take it from its silhouette, it looks fine. Like it doesn't look very special, but it's not. There's not like obvious flaws. But the weird thing is, like, what were they thinking with the little wing on the eyes, if you will? It looks like a. It like I said, it looks feminine. It looks strange. And then the taillight designs, the lines are just weird, weirdly shaped. I don't know. I don't think I will put the E60 above the E36, if I'm being honest. It's definitely not my favorite. Definitely not my favorite. I actually think it belongs in the same tier. I feel like I'm being slightly generous to put it in C. Slightly generous. The one reason why I actually like them a little bit, aside from they basically feel like E90s, is because the S85. But because that's not a talking point, I'm thinking, it's a very close between C and D on this one. I don't think it's objectively worse than the E36, so I think it belongs in C. I think it should stay in C. I don't know. I'm not sure. Is it? Well, how about this? I would, in terms of looks alone, I think I would rather have an E36, maybe. Am I pissing people off out there? Yeah, alright. How about D? I think D is a fine tier for it. If I could put it in between, if I could put it in a D plus tier, it would be perfect, but I don't have that. I don't have that technology currently. I need some type of cushion for this toolbox. This is getting to be a little bit uncomfortable. Hold on 1 second. Here, let me leave you with a great picture while I walk 10 feet over there to grab a pillow to sit on. All right, here's a good car, for example. That is much better. I'm in the A tier. We're good. Yeah, I think I'm being slightly generous to E90. Same thing. If I could put it in a B plus, I think it would be well suited. Because you can't forget the pre-LCI look. It just was not good, especially in the United States, with the yellow reflectors. Fucking A. Please do not the E92. Nothing will happen to this car, I assure you. Sometimes when I'm drunk or something and I come out and I walk past it, like I'll kiss it right on the hood. All right, what's next? What's next? What do I do next? If my car had one more door, it would be perfect. 3 doors? Nah, I'm just messing. E65. Oh, I should do it in order. I already did the E31. E85. Is that the fucking SUV? Alright, what's the E85? Is that the fucking X3 or whatever? Nope. E85 gas. Right, but wrong. Oh, it's this one. The Z. This isn't the one they call the clown shoe, is it? Or is it? Yeah, I'm doing modern ones too. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you're right. It's the Z3M. That's correct. I only learned about that one because Rich Rebuilds had one for a little bit. This one, do you guys actually want to do this? I forgot to screen share once again. This one. Everyone clap in the chat. Nice. Do you guys want me to do this, or do you want me to do a different one? Let's do it. Okay, I'll do it real quick. I'm mostly indifferent on these Z cars. I don't think they're amazing. Honestly, I don't know much about these, so I don't have much to like preface. I do think the tail is weird. It's flat like a Corvette or something. But I see like I see old people driving these. But I know they're really small. I'm sure they drive fine. I don't know I don't need to know what engines are in them because that's outside of my rule book here. All right. So what is this called again? The E85 pure corn fed. All right, E85. For what it is for a Z, it doesn't look bad. But there's better Zs, I think. But I'm also not the biggest Z fan. So I'm slightly biased against it. But in terms of overall BMW design, all right, let me start with this. If I wanted a subcompact sports car, if that's the right term, if I wanted a small sports car, I don't think I would buy a BMW. I think I would buy an NA Miata. So it's just really not in my look here, you know what I mean? But does it look better than an E60? The tail end doesn't. I'll start by saying that. The front looks good though. It looks fine. Looks fine. I know this is basically the same class as a Miata. It's basically a competition to a Miata. It also looks similar to a Lotus. The tail end actually reminds me a lot of a Lotus. You know, actually the tail end is not as weird as I thought. This picture kind of changes my mind on it a little bit. Now that I'm thinking about Lotus, it makes me like it a little bit more. Looks like a helmet, yeah. Oh, Duke owns one of these? That definitely changes my mind on these. Alright. Where would I put it? It's not terrible, it's not... I'd put it at a very strong C. It's not good, it's not bad. It's a little more than not bad, though. If that makes any sense. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pick the next one actually. I'm gonna pick a couple more that I like. So how about I'm gonna get controversial and go way new. How about the G20? It's got to be pre-LCI though. G20 340. How about? Okay, so this might be a hot take, but specifically the pre-LCI G20s are, in my opinion, are going to be some of the last good-looking BMWs, especially 3 Series. Let me get a drink. Hold on. Take a good look at it. 1 second. Now I'm seeing more and more of these, and I like seeing them, but maybe I'm seeing them because I've realized that I really like them. I think they look good. I think they could have skipped the F30, and they could have just went to this, and it would have been a better evolution. Because, well, look closely. There's no flat hood. It goes down to the vents, like it should, like all the other ones, all the other good BMWs. The hood goes down to the grills. And I really like the little slat that's in between the headlight. Same thing, you gotta look closely. I really like it. It's unique to it. Some people say it's a nod to the E46. It kind of is. I think they ruined it with the LCI. It just looks fucking boring. You'll notice that most of this tier list is almost entirely based off of headlights and taillights. But that's what really makes a car. Honestly. So. But look at that. Like, that looks fucking great. They do come in good colors, too. Like a nice blue. I think they look great in this blue color. They look great in black as well. But I'm going to take this picture. This looks like a deep blue color. But the pre-LCI G20s, especially the 340s, because the B58, fucking incredible. Anyone who knows BMWs knows that the B58 is amazing. Okay. So, time to piss more people off, probably. But the G20. Let's see here. Don't worry, I'll be more agreeing with one of my next picks too. But sorry, not E, G20 PLCI. Personally, I just think it looks damn good. Like if we're gonna do the silhouette test too, it looks great. The taillights are definitely different. They're definitely different compared to pretty much anything else you know about BMW. They did ditch the Angel Eye look, but I think it's a good progression, especially if you look at them all front on. The G20 just looks like a pretty decent progression. They did make the grills bigger, which it's not as bad as some of the other big grill ones, but they're not too noticeably big. They still look like BMW grills, so that's one thing going for it. You know what? Maybe this isn't the best picture of one, actually. Not to ramble on about these for too long, but just trying to convert some of you guys to agree with me that these are these are nice looking cars. There's one picture in particular where it compares all the 3 Series by like the front of them. and it's pretty interesting to see, especially when the G20 comes into play. Because you realize it doesn't actually look that staggering. Or that, yeah, here it is. Look at that. Like, that looks fucking, it looks pretty aggressive. Like, this is as big as the nose should have gotten. For, like, the G80s and shit. If the G80 had this front, it would look so much better. So much better. Okay, so where do I put it? I like it better than the F30. I can't say I like it better than the E90. It's definitely not S tier. It's a good solid A tier. You can fucking hate me if you want, but it's a good car. It's a good looking car, I should say. Because I don't know. Don't know that. All right. How does everyone feel about that one? Everyone hate me? G20 looks like a 7 Series styling. Yeah, it kind of does with the grill being big, but the grills, they don't look, I don't know, they don't jump out at you too much. Like, it actually can grow on you, whereas like the G80, it doesn't really grow on you. Okay. All right, votes on what I do next. F10. M57. That sounds like an engine. I'm not doing engine. I'm just doing chassis on the looks of them. My mom has an F10. Is Mary in here? He'd love that I'm about to talk about the F10. Everyone cool with the F10? Gotta blow my nose. All right. Yeah, let's freaking do the F10. All right, F10. So the F10 is a 5 Series from, I couldn't tell you which one it is, but it's like the early 10s one. The one that comes after the E60. All right, so in my opinion, it looks so much better than the E60. It actually looks like a good car, and they also look very similar to the 7 Series that was out of that gen, which came out a few years prior. Especially when you're looking at the tails, the 7 Series of this time period looks very, very similar, except there's a giant chrome bar across the center of the trunk. But these taillights, they look like E90 LCI ones, which is a good look. I can't bias everything off of a particular generation that I like, but I think they look fine, the taillights. Also, the headlights look fine, too. The grills are a decent dimension. The lines on them are pretty good. Nothing is too large or too small looking. It is a bigger car, but they're not obnoxiously large either. So I'm actually going to grab this picture of it. F10. Oop. All right, Mary, are you here? This one's for you. Probably not. You're probably not here. Yes, a massive upgrade from the E60 look. And yes, there is a rare version with the N52, so it's immediately a pretty good car, right? You can't say that about all, though, because I'm pretty sure they put M52s in some of their X cars too, and I fucking hate X cars. All right, so faking you out there. It does not belong in the C tier. The F10 is actually a good design. A good design, I will say. Much better than the E60. I think it is one of the better, on the higher end of 5 Series in terms of looks. I don't know if it's the best, but it's just a good looking car. I actually don't really have many gripes with how they look, other than they're big, you know. But I don't know if that really, they're not like monster trucks. This is tough because honestly I like them better than F30s. This is tricky. Alright, without rearranging anything, I think they gotta go in the A tier. S is pretty much like untouchable zone. So pretty much all the ones that I like are gonna be in the A. So yeah. I think that's a safe bet. Yeah. Because I mean, I would buy it. I personally think it's a less flawed looking design than the E82, which, like I said, it's not a terrible look either, but it has flaws. You know, so it just, I definitely couldn't put an F30 or E82 up top. So, all right. So, let's get to some more that I fucking hate. So, as I said at the beginning of this, I said that BMW makes some of my favorite cars, and they also make some of my least favorite cars. This is one of them. I'm not sure which one's which, but it doesn't really matter. I can pretty much put all the X cars in almost the same category. But one of these, I want to say it's the X4, is like the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And every time I see them, I think like, what the fuck is that? Hold on. Let me just put in a year. I don't know the number on these. Yeah, I think this is, yep, this is the one. This is one of the ugliest cars in existence. Because look at it. It's trying to be a car, but it's a fucking SUV. So in turn, it just looks like a giant car, and it looks fucking ugly. Yeah, they're giant, dude. You're right, it's a boat. I just hate that the tail end is trying to look like a sedan. And when you see them in person, they just look like a giant, jacked up sedan. And they look incredibly ugly. Personally, I just don't get the whole idea of X cars. Like, why would you want like a sporty SUV? I just think it doesn't make sense. It's like saying that you want like something that is supposed to be a utility to serve something that is more recreation, if you get what I'm saying. It's like trying to, you show up to work and they're like, okay, we need you to do your work from this slide. You have to send emails while going down a slide and swimming in the pool. It's like they don't go together. It's like the worst analogy probably ever. The point is, these X cars look fucking terrible. Like I said, they all belong in the same category. I don't think there's one, that that's really much better than the rest of them, because I think they all look like shit. And you really can't tell them apart, like when you're looking at the 3, the 7. I don't know what the difference is, other than like guess like the interior amount of luxury on the interior, because that's usually what the number means. Because otherwise, the chassis, they look fucking the same. Like, can you tell them apart? Not really. I can tell, like, which generation they belong to. But in terms of, like, early 10s, late 10s, you know, I really can't. Other than that, I really can't fucking tell them apart. So, they just why? Just why? Also, there's a theory too. I know this probably pisses off a large majority of people, but I know you guys are enthusiasts, so you might actually agree. But there's some people who say that the X cars was part of BMW's downfall, because it's when they started trying to appeal more to the masses and less of a purpose-built car. So it's just a car that's, SUVs are like the top selling thing in the world right now. So, I mean, it makes sense. I'm pretty sure BMW sells more X cars than anything else, unfortunately, too. But people think, I've heard people say that X cars were the true beginning of BMW's downfall, even though they were introduced in like 2003 or 4 or something. But I think that was probably the beginning of the end, because they started appealing to the masses, and it was just not what their original thing was all about. So, on that note, let me grab the ugliest picture of one ever. Go all the way back. Oh, I got one more point to make. So, if I can find the right angle of it. All right, so look at this. You see how it's trying to vaguely be shaped like an SUV? It reminds me of like a Karen haircut. That's the only way I can think of what that's called. But like, can I speak to your manager haircut, where it's like, I think you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Not to like bring up an old ass fucking meme, but this type of haircut where it's like tapered in the back, that's what this car reminds me of. And that's probably the crowd that are driving these cars too. Which ruined it all. So, do we agree with that? Alright, so all X cars, I'm not going to separate them. All X cars belong in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. All X cars. I don't think I'm gonna piss anyone off, but I'm putting him, for starters, in the F tier. You will absolutely never catch me driving a car similar to that, ever. I will drive a G80 before I drive one of those. Oh, your mom drives. I'm sorry. I went on a little bit of a rant there, but I had to say it. Your mom has an X4. She wanted a car. It's a back problem. No, that's fair. But I think all SUVs kind of have that sort of purpose. I get it. They are easier to get into. I've just never ever been a fan of SUVs in general, and I think BMW makes some of the ugliest looking ones out of them all. But I remember even as a kid, I'll tell you guys a quick story here. Real quick. So, kind of my start on liking cars initially was I had Need for Speed as a kid. Hot Pursuit 2 on the GameCube. And it kind of introduced me to some cars at an early age. But I've just always fucking hated the way SUVs look. I didn't know a proper term for them as a kid, so I would call them Jeeps, like no matter what they were. I just always thought they looked douchey. And so anyways, about Need for Speed, me and my brother, we'd play it, and the NPCs were like minivans and SUVs and like utility trucks and stuff like that. We would do this thing where we would just drive around. I mean, I play the fuck out of the game anyways, but sometimes we'd just dick around and we would drive into the NPC cars and push them into a wall enough to where they would despawn. We called it like I forget what we called it. We called it like, I don't know, crashing cars or something. Something stupid, but I would feel so much rage just like despawning SUVs. That's how much I fucking hate them. I wish I could do that today. I wish I could crash my car into the next X car I see, or the next like Cadillac Escalade, and just push it into the guardrail until it disappears. I have tried SUV. I've tried plenty of them actually. I've driven a lot of rental ones. Don't like them. They have so much body roll on pretty much every one I've ever tried, and they just look terrible. Like, for me, cars are all about how they look, and it impacts the way I feel about driving them. But yeah, mostly all of them roll like shit. I fucking hate them. I'm sorry. And not BMWs, Jeeps, they rust out like crazy. And their lights are so fucking bright. That's a whole nother thing. All SUVs, majority of them have like wicked bright lights. Fucking hate them. Hate them. I can't tell if you're serious, if your mom actually watched my channel or not. Probably not. Need for Speed Underground 2, they had an Escalade in that game. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I had Hot Pursuit 2. I think it was the only one I had, but I do remember renting Underground from the video store. But my mom didn't let me keep it because the NPCs like were women in bikinis waving the flag for you to go. She thought it was inappropriate. Fanboy communities always have the people only vouch for their own car and shit on the others within the same community. Well, yeah, I do have a bias on the E92, but that's why I own it, because I think it looks amazing. But I don't own any of the other ones besides the E90. But no, I mean, you're right. I've got a bias. Yeah, Hot Pursuit 2 was fucking peak. And also had a really good soundtrack. And I just remembered a band from that game like a week ago, and I've been listening to that band a lot. The game was freaking amazing. Cars on the Game Boy Advance was the shit. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I wonder if it had Owen Wilson in that one too. I don't know if you can hear, but the cricket in the corner is clearly pissed off about one of the things I said. I think he drives a Cadillac Escalade. What band? Ironically, the band is called Hot Action Cop, which, to go on a very tiny tangent, is actually like a pretty dang good band. Like, it's like new metal-ish, but they have like some very Chili Peppers sounding songs. I knew like two of those songs almost my whole life because of that game. But I downloaded the album when I was like 13, 14. I was huge into new metal. but I just last week started re-listening to the whole album, and I'm like, wow, this is actually really good. The lyrics are horny as fuck, like literally, but other than that, they got some bangers. Yeah, Fever for the Flame. Yeah, exactly. But they got some good hits, or not hits. They got some like good gems on there that are just that are probably an underrated band, I would say. Like Busted, Face Around, Why Judy, The Special. I'm just looking at the track list. Doom Boom, same thing. The lyrics are so stupid, but good ass song. But all right, anyways, since you're the only one who knows what I'm talking about, I will move on. All right, what's the next chassis? Yeah, me too. Literally me too. The first time I heard the nod. Same. That was my reaction too. M1. So like the first BMW ever, right? Something like that. First M car. M1 BMW. The M1 Garand. This one. It looks like a Ferrari. Or something. Something Italian, you know? Not bad, not bad. This is like pretty much unobtainium, isn't it? So I don't know if I should really... Yeah, this is unobtainium. I don't think I should rate this because it's not really fair. The 2002s, I know what those look like. Like an E46, right? Haha, 2002. No, they're basically an E30, so my thoughts on them are similar. Except I think these, other than being classic, are slightly less pretty, you know. They look more 70s than, you know, they just look like slightly older than E30s, you know what I mean? So, that's the shit you like. Is it your S tier car for you? They have a touring version? Oh, they do. Well, I will say I like that better than most tourings. E91. Not bad. All right, I don't know if I'm actually gonna put it on. Yeah, I'll put this one on there. I'll put this one on. Just gotta find a good picture of it. How about this? It looks like something Jay Leno would drive. Like if he were to own a... I'm sure he does. He probably owns like 3 of these or something, but... Oh, it's literally Jay Leno. You can tell. If you look closely, you can tell this is Jay Leno. Oh, and the picture says so, too. That's funny. I just knew it would be along his taste. Okay, the 2002. Yeah, I remember 2002. I was like eating crayons back then. Alright, 2002. Like I said, I don't like gawk at it, but they're cool. They're a piece of BMW history. It's like before even 3 Series. Before they knew how they were gonna make confusing numbers. Makes it even more confusing. They're not ugly either. They're not great, they're not ugly. I'm gonna put it at a hard C as well, too. I know that might piss people off, but I don't gawk over them. Like, I break my neck looking at E92s. Like, I'll be driving my E92, and I'll pass one, and I'll break my neck looking at another one. Ain't no way you're 10. No, I'm 10 years old. You were born in 2002? Oh. I was 30 in 2002. Back when I was a young mechanic. Yeah, for real. That's about when I graduated with my PhD to work under Scotty. That was about when I started working with Scotty. That's when I became Scotty, actually. That was when I got the name. Yeah, I know, yeah, I'm just kidding. I know a lot of my viewers are miraculously younger than me. But y'all got good taste too, so I'm definitely not faulting it for you. Alright, what's next? What's next? One second, Google is asking me to verify my account so I can look at my view count. Unless one of you guys stream snipe hacked me. Oh, that's unfortunate. I can't really get into my account. That's funny. That's fine. Alright, someone tell me the view count right now. If you can. E34? Alright, I'll do E34. These are good. It's what, the second gen 5 series, or is it the first one? I think it's the first. $10 views? Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all being here at midnight 30 on a Wednesday morning. The E34, very similar. It's like a big, long E30. I think that's an excellent photo of it. No, I did not do F22 yet, but that's definitely one I'm gonna cover because I've got things to say about it. So E34, pretty sure first gen 5 series. Not a bad one by any means. They always remind me of the Batmobile or something. They just look pretty sinister looking. I think black is very well suited for these. I know people love them as M5s. I think Tedward Drives has one. I'm pretty sure he does. Anyone like that channel? Okay. It's 12:30 for you. Yep, me too. Oh, someone's on the West Coast. Nice. Okay, E34. These are definitely one of the classics, for sure. I think, you know what? All right, hold on. I gotta look at how the rear looks. Is that how it looks? Okay, the rear kind of looks like crap. I'll be honest. Kind of looks like crap. It looks like a Buick LeSabre or something, something of that nature, from the back. But I would imagine the Buick LeSabre stole it. But the front, look at that. The front looks incredible. So for that reason, for the taillights alone, I'm going to leave it on B tier. I think that's a good spot for it. Alright, someone said F22. I think F22 is a good time for F22. So, story about the F22. I didn't love them, but I never thought they looked too terrible. I think they're kind of the proper E82. I think they literally are a progression of the 82 because they got rid of the 1 Series. Don't know why that made sense to them. But these, I typed the wrong one. F22. Alright, F22, as you guys can see, a fine looking car. These, in picture, I was like, yeah, they look good, right? Right? I love this color. I just saw one in this color last week. But I was always slightly indifferent on the taillights. Let me get my screen bigger. I was always slightly indifferent on the taillight design. But I have obviously seen them in person as well. But they never caught my attention too much until like 2 months ago. One of my closest friends was saying, well, he wrecked one of his cars, one of his old cars, and he was telling me it's time to buy a BMW. So he showed me an F30 that he was interested in, and I'm like, okay. I told him, F30s aren't my favorite. Don't know a ton about them either, but good for you. I'll help you look at it. And then trying to pull up the listing, I found an F22 for a good deal. So I sent it to him, and it looked, I've always liked them more than the F30. So we go and we test drive it, and seeing it in person and everything, it changed my mind on them completely. Like, they look dang good. Oh, time for bed later. See ya, Raymond. I think they look damn good, especially after seeing them in person. I like them that much more. They're really, really small too. Like, seeing it next to my E92, they are wicked small. And I bet in F22, 240 is amazing. I would bet, but I don't know. For the picture, I want it to be that nice blue color. Let's see. Yeah. Long Beach Blue. It's a stupid name for a color. Looks very similar to that Atlantis blue. Like that 101 E92 or whatever. Here, how about this one? Cars and Bid. Shout out to Doug tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. He ended up buying a 228. That's and yeah, I think it's nice. I could tell that the transmission's nice. I haven't driven it yet, but I will. F22. So I like these a lot. And my indifferences with the taillights has kind of grown off of me. I would say I like these just as on par with G20s, but slightly more, I think. Which kind of makes me want to change my tier list up a little bit. The E92 is easily the best car. Easily. Yeah, especially after seeing the new one. Yeah, the new one looks fucking terrible. I kind of want to put it in the S tier. But it's not as good as the E90. Like, the E92 is untouchable. I want to put it at, like... Yeah, I'm going to put it in between A and S. So, just to note why it's off-center like that. Anyone else like the F22? I feel pretty good about this list, actually. I would say it's ever so slightly unflawed, less than the G20, but the G20 is like right behind it. Yes, the E92 is easily just better. But the F22 looks nice because it is small. Like, it's nice. Alright, anyone here still? Anyone here? Yeah, that's not bad. I think you're right. They're right on par with the E9X in terms of weight. What's up? N52 is fast for me. Correct. It is fast. Alright, what chassis am I doing next? Give me a bad one. Give me a shitty one. The E61. Ooh. E63. What is that one? Is that the... I'm just checking what this one is for. Oh. Yes. The AMG. Oh, that yeah, these ones. Well, someone said E61 first. I would say E61s are slightly uglier than an E60. I think. Here, I'll just grab it real quick and I'll put it up. Just so you know. No offense, Tyler, if you watch this at some point. Just hatchbacks and wagons are not my forte. We're talking strictly on looks. I gotta get a wide crop because it's a wide ass looking car. E61, I would put them in between D and F. I think I'm gonna do that as a thing now, like these middle grounds. Yeah, they're ridiculously long. But these are ones I've actually driven, and I was actually kind of impressed with the dynamics of it, if I'm being honest. I drove a 535i wagon, or maybe it was X-Drive, I forget. But to my surprise, it actually drove nice. It felt similar to what I know about driving an E90, but it just felt heavier. But also to its credit, it handled decently well for that. With all that, with the weight, I imagine that contributed. Okay, what's the next one? I'm probably gonna have to trim this a lot. It'll be a long ass video otherwise. Because I think I still want to make this into a regular YouTube video. E63. The E6 series. These are ridiculously long as well. Speaking of. They're like it's like when you take an E92 with like a E60 feeling front and then like crush it down to make it longer and smushed. That's what these are like. But they're not terrible. They also don't really look like BMWs. Like they do obviously, but they don't have a ton of like stereotype BMW characteristics. So that, I think I want to put them in the C tier. Double check though. I gotta look at a few to think. Yeah, this is the thing. It's like they really kind of don't look like BMWs. The front has like the weird 7 Series bangle tail, and then the rear reminds me of like a fucking, like, I don't know, a Cobalt or something. What am I thinking? I don't know. Something. It reminds me of something weird. Yeah, I think I'm, let's see. I think they're slightly above E60s though. I'm gonna put them at a D plus. A Ford Probe. I've never heard of that. Oh, you know what it kind of, I think it reminds me of? I think I have to jog my memory. Those Eclipse things. Nope, not that one. Yeah, for some reason it kind of does remind me of these. Not quite my tempo. Fair. All right, give me a really shitty one. Like, give me a terrible one. Give me your guys' least favorite, if we didn't already do it. If it wasn't already the E60. Yeah, I remember I told, when I was trying to get a loan for my first BMW, I told my banker, or no, I went to a local car dealership and I told him I wanted them to find me a BMW. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then he like texted me like a week and a half later and he was like, I got this Eclipse. And I don't think I ever even responded to him again. I ended up finding one somewhere else. Yeah, not quite my tempo. E24, what the hell is that? E65. Okay, well, I gotta do it in order. I'm sorry. E65, yeah, it's certainly up there. These are goofy as fuck, but when you look at them like certain angles, it's actually not. Like, look at this really quick. It looks like the E92 trying to be a 7 Series or something. Well, I mean, it is a 7 Series, but the taillights on this version are actually not terrible. In this angle overall is not terrible. Oh, sorry, I'm cropping it. This angle is not too shabby. But then you see it from this angle, and it looks like it fucking got smashed with a hammer or so. What am I trying to say? It looks like Squidward. Well, no, that's not even the right. I was gonna say like when it had a door slammed in its face or something. It just looks absolutely fucked up. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were going for. It looks horrendous from the front. They did put a V12 in these, though, for a short period. Yeah, I wonder if they fixed it with the facelift. Not really. Looks like it needs a literal facelift. It looks fucking awful. The E24, no, I did not do that yet. I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's slightly better, but I don't know what the fuck they were thinking of these. They just look absolutely fucked up, and they look ugly as shit. The taillights aren't the worst part about it, though. It's the headlights. But same thing if you were to look at just a silhouette of this and you didn't see the headlight design, it would look like a decently thought out looking vehicle. It's basically the same shape as an E60, but with even worse headlights. I don't know how they justified that one. Chris Bagel. Alright, I gotta find the worst picture of it possible. How about this one? There shouldn't be much contention on this, but this is a solid E tier because it does actually have some decently redeeming qualities, but it is definitely not a looker by any means. Any means. I didn't even do the E46. Shit. Touring E46. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool simply for the V12 engine, I guess, but I don't know if I could justify driving something ugly just for a cool motor. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure the same thing. I'm sure the interiors was ahead of its time and everything. I do know that the iDrive was like very complex. I remember watching the Doug DeMuro video on this, and he fucking hated how like overly complicated everything was. Like the HVAC was in the iDrive or something stupid like that. Let me skip back to E46. Do that real quick. Actually, don't know where I stand. E46s, they're a car that my opinion like is is flexible with them. Like sometimes I look at them and I think like, wow, that looks really good. And then other times I look at them and like, eh. But it probably depends because I know there's like 3 different versions of the headlights. And I'm not versed enough with them to know the difference. But they were definitely onto something. Like they got really good proportions, and they're not too boxy. Like they started putting some curves in them. Like it's a dang nice looking car. Trying to grab a good picture of one though. That's a decent one. And the taillights are dang nice on them too. Like you can see how they were kind of evolving towards the way they look on E90, and they're kind of like upside down E92 taillights, which is pretty cool. I never thought about that. And they look dang good with with those rims. They look like a precursor to 359s. The Compact, yeah, the Compact looks like shit, but this looks nice. I don't want to skip any important ones, and the E46 is definitely an important one that I almost skipped. Alright, let's put it this way. The E46 is definitely one that I would buy. I think it is peak of the boxy look. Well, the E30 looks good too. It's a good combo of the rounded box look. How about that? I'm thinking an absolutely solid A. I don't actually really have many gripes with them, like really at all, in terms of how they look. But I'm going off of pretty much what comes to mind is the M3 version of it. You prefer the sedan version? That's the thing, they look so similar. The sedan and the coupe version. But yeah, they didn't. It's like the one M3 that didn't have a sedan, I believe. Here, I'll tell you a story on these, and I'm fairly confident. So there's this guy who lives down the street who also works at a shop that I used to trust for a little bit, until one time he tried to upsell me some tires. And I fucking hate that shit. This was pretty much before I DIY'd most, like 90% of my shit. But this guy, he has an E46 that has an M badge on it, but I'm pretty sure it's a 4-door if I remember correctly, which means it's not an M3. No, yeah, the sedan version does not look bad. Not bad. But it's not too distinctly different like how the E92 and E90 are. You know what I mean? What's up? You guys still awake? I'm pretty satisfied with this list. Touring E46, I'm probably going to do just a couple more. I think I covered most. Oh, I didn't even get into the shitty new cars. Yeah, I think I have to do at least the G80 and the new 2. Oh, they're ruining all of them. They're going like down the same path that Disney is, where they want to ruin all of them. If you know what I mean. Alright, let's see. G80s. I tried really hard to like these, but I don't. Just the front is way too jarring. Like they've got good lines, or a good shape, like from a side. But like even the way the fenders come out are just like jarring. Like everything is just so jarring and strange. If you look at them close too, they... No. Hold on, let me look at the G82 one. That's what pisses me off too. It's like the M3 and 4, they both look like the fucking same. Like, what even is the difference on the like nothing really. It's just, you cut a door off, but other than that, it's like they're both just as bad. That's why I was early to the game on making fun of these, like, a few years ago. See you later, N52 is fast for me. Yeah, I mean, I tried really hard to like these. I mean, if you can look at them enough and be like, they're not the worst thing, but they're definitely not good. They're just like weird. Like maybe the giant grills could work with a different style headlight, I don't know. But neither of them complement each other. Like the grills don't complement the headlights, nor vice versa, so it's like neither of them really work. So I'm gonna take this giant... Oh, is that a wide body? Oh, it is. Yeah, I can't take that one because it's... Can't use that picture because it's not OEM. Even though I think you guys would get the point on these fucking monstrosities. I mean, they look like this picture looks exotic. Like the rims they put on these are pretty cool, but they try and justify it saying that they put all their... It's every one of these vents is used for something, and I'm sure they are, but I mean, cars have had normal sized grills for a long time before this. I don't think that this was the whole reason they chose to do it. Someone out there thought this looked good, but G8X, they're basically the same. I'm going to use this picture anyways. I gotta say, because they're a modern car, there are some things that are, you know, decent about them. Like, obviously, the engine is insane. Trying to think, is there anything I actually like? Like, this angle doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad really at all. Till you get to the front, it's like, the fuck? But the front is just so jarring that it ruins it. But this, I'm beating a dead horse. Everyone already knows what I'm thinking. So I'll be slightly generous and say, well, no, I won't. It belongs in the E tier, for sure. Yeah. The tail end is its a redeeming trait. Yeah, if they put the G20 front on it, I don't know why they didn't. Like, why is the M3 of the new 3 Series like entirely different? It doesn't really make much sense. The trick is to getting your car on a lift, even if you can barely do it with a low profile, as you drive on some 2x4s or something. I have to do that with this and one of my others. Yeah, I mean it's I don't know what the fuck BMW is really doing anymore. You can probably put a lot of the new ones in the E territory too. Like, I think they already teased like that they're ruining the 5 Series. What does it look like? Oh, well, they didn't fully ruin it. It just looks a little strange, but the 2nd gen M2 though, this thing looks horrendous. The 2 colors they offered are kind of interesting, but these things are weird as fuck. It looks like some type of insect or something. And it's weird because they went for a more rounded look, but also a super ridiculously boxy look. Like, every dimension is square and like straightened out. And then, weirdly enough, there's certain angles that make it look like it's a muscle car. Like it like certain angles, they look like they're like a Mustang or something. It's strange. I'm not really seeing one that makes me think that. They got like a Type R wing on it. Strange, very strange. Yeah, exactly. Like, the F30 and 80 were clearly similar. The E92 M3 was extremely similar, you know? All the previous M cars, they looked similar to the non-Ms, but with subtle differences. I think BMW kind of forgot what the subtle means. And that's what I liked about BMW in the past, was subtle. Like, they look like relatively normal cars, but they're not always regular cars, you know what I mean? But yeah, what the fuck were they thinking with this tail end too? Like, it's so square. The taillights especially are just like, what the hell? And then the rear fender jutting out so much. Super strange. Super strange. And then I don't know if they did it. I swear they were trying to piss everybody off. They released one picture like a certain variant. Maybe it's a concept, I don't know, where they put like quad exhausts, but they're all centered, and then it had like a really weird wing on it. It was like trying to look like a WRX combined with a Type R, but it's somehow a BMW. It's like, what the flying fuck are they thinking? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find that picture though, because I don't know what they called that thing. I don't know. Maybe they're like wicked ahead of their time on this one too. Like maybe this is what most cars will look like in 10, 15 years, and we're just not aware of it. Because sometimes they make some weird choices, but they're actually ahead of the game, like kind of the E60. They're kind of ahead of the game in terms of the general shape of the car. Very round. Yeah, sitting on this toolbox is not the best. But yeah, this one, I don't know. Am I really missing any other ones aside from this? No. Let me just throw this up on here somewhere. I gotta get a really ugly picture of it, or just a picture that shows how weird it is. The grills are basically literally squares, but at least they're regular sized, or mostly regular sized. So they got that over the GX. Oh my god, picture's giant. These, I would say D. There's a lot of things that are ugly about them, but at least the form factor. I won't say the shape, because the shape is weird too, but the form factor is, it's a small sports car. I don't know. They're strange. I don't think I would buy one anytime soon though. But I think I would buy it before an E61, so it deserves to be there. I would buy it before a G8X and a Bengal, so yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I would stick to... Well, you can be a little more conservative than that. I would say the real end was like 2019. Once they started rolling out the new ones. So like 2020 is when they, I think when they started rolling out the really ugly designs. But yeah, for me, I'm driving E9X for a long time. Though I think honestly, I do want a B58 someday, but no time soon. Either a G20. I was thinking G20 for a while because I don't really want an F31. But now I'm thinking maybe F22 might be a more affordable option to get a B58 someday. No time soon though, I have way too many cars. Alright, well my back is starting to hurt, and I think I covered most of them. Most of the good ones, and most of the really bad ones as well. I think I definitely covered pretty much all the 3 series. At least 2, and that's what most of us like here, so not bad. Yeah, unless anyone has any final suggestions before I pretty much call this tier list a a good list for me. This cricket's been probably ruining my audio all night. I don't know if you can hear it. G14, what is that? Let me check. Yeah, I know I skipped a lot of like 7 series and things like that. Oh, G14, the Zephyrus. It's actually, fun fact, the computer I'm using right now. G14 BMW. What are these? Oh, 8 series? You know, you really don't see a ton of these around. Oh, you can't hear the cricket? Damn, that sucks. It's gonna ruin the chances of this being a good video when I cut it together. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. They're really long. I've seen a few of them around. What about the i8? Really? I didn't know they were really that popular, the 8 series, because I know a lot of them start at like 120. How about I lump your suggestion in with the i8, because I know that's a very controversial one. I don't think they're that bad though. We're talking purely looks here, remember, too, so. I used to see these around a lot, but now I don't. I think they actually look pretty good. It's definitely doesn't have the sort of design elements that make BMWs look like BMWs. It looks more like something Italian or something. They definitely look really aggressive though. Like this is a pretty cool picture. That's a really cool picture of it. We're talking purely looks here, so let me refresh myself on how the tail looks. Not terrible. Yeah, they look pretty damn cool. It kind of sucks that there's not more of them with like actual engines, regular engines. Alright, yeah, if we're talking just looks, I'm like running out of space too. I'm gonna slip it like at like a B+ or something. I mean, they look dang good, but the thing is, I don't know if it really counts because it's like a hybrid. So I might just. It's like a between a and a B. So I'll put it somewhere in the middle, and you can kind of make that mind up for yourself. But all right, I think I covered most of them. most of the ones that are important, or the ones that are have been controversial as well. Most of the important ones, I think. No, yeah, it's certain. The i8's certainly interesting. I didn't know much about them. Same thing. Rich Rebuilds had one, so I think I learned about him from his channel. But alright, I think that just about does it for me. I appreciate everyone stopping in. I know most of you are probably gone by now. A lot of people come and go or whatnot. But if you're still here right now, I appreciate it as well. I think last I checked there was like less than 10. But no, it's fun doing streams, even though it's it gets pretty personal, you know, where small groups, but it's still fun. I like doing it. No, thanks. I'm glad you actually agree. I know it's gonna piss people off with E60. Some people are diehard E60 fans, but I'm sticking to that. I still debate. Well, no, yeah, I still think E90 belongs up top. Yeah. I wish I could lower it just ever so slightly, not half, but yeah, you know what? Actually, maybe E90 goes down half a notch. Maybe. Because it is better than F30, but just slightly. Because my gripes with them both involve the front, I think. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. B+ on the E90. E92, best car. Alright, well, I think that just about does it for me. Once again, appreciate it. Appreciate you stopping in. I know I haven't uploaded much this year. So, or actually really at all. So yeah, I appreciate that I still have an audience who's willing to come into a stream that I started at like 10 p.m. But it was fun. It was fun. So, yeah, y'all have a good night. Take it easy.